We're at the last day of 2021, and I figure why not make a top 15 video games of 2021, which is, I know it's a trend everyone's doing right now, but hey, I just came back off of vacation. I figured I might want to drop one last video for the year. And why not it be this? So let's go ahead and get into my top 15 games of 2021.
This wasn't written with your comfort in mind. Nah. Made my decision, wasn't tough to decide. Nah. Me and my boys, we get it done every time. Gotta earn it, you can't just jump in the line. You'll get rushed to the side. I top my division, I've been building since I started. In the parking lot, I parked it. I came in while picking targets. My career cannot be tarnished. I'm a champion regardless. Celebrate, but this a different kind of lucha party. We are not alike.
Before we kick this video off, make sure you go and sub to the channel and ding the notification bell, that way you can stay up to date on all the latest and greatest content that comes from this channel. And if you want to support what we do, we have merch over on Teespring and TeePublic, as well as channel memberships and Patreon for early and exclusive access to various content that we put out. So with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and lay down the rules for what is and isn't going to be included. And basically with this year, this has been a big year of like remakes, remasters. So my list is going to include games that are continuations of game franchises that have been going for a while, as well as brand new entries altogether. So with that being said, let's go ahead and start it. Number 15, Xuan 7. Now honestly, this is a game I haven't heard anyone talk about because, well, I mean, the title in itself doesn't really lend itself to you knowing what it is. Xuan 7, like, what? Anyway, like, basically, this is effectively an action RPG that's relatively short. You can complete the game probably within, 10 to 15 hours, but it's got a very interesting story, incredibly deep combat system, and a robust RPG system for you to level out your stats. Now, is it going to be for everyone? Probably not. The language barrier might be one. A lot of people may not want to read subtitles because, yes, this is all in subtitle, but this game really provides a unique experience that I think anyone who's interested in action RPGs should probably give this a shot. This is a game that really surprised me, and I had to put that in my top 15 games of 2021. Number 14 is the first game I actually reviewed for 2021, being none other than Cyber Shadow. Now this is available on all platforms, and basically this game just is such a love letter to, if you grew up enjoying the 8-bit era, if you enjoyed like Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden, then this is the game that's for you. It's got a really good story that's actually very, very deep. It's a deep love story between a master and their student, and it goes in such a great direction towards the end, and it leaves on a cliffhanger. So I'm hoping we get an announcement at some point from Yacht Club Games that we're going to get a sequel to it. Now the gameplay of it's a Metroidvania that plays closer to a combination of Shinobi and Ninja Gaiden. So you got your sword slashes. You basically start off with being able to run, jump, and slash. As the game goes on, you get additional moves such as your double jump, your downward strike, magic abilities, shuriken, bombs, and so much more. This game has such replay value, and I played it straight through all the way to the end. I think it took me about maybe 3 or 4 hours to do the whole game like in one sitting, and I do have a gameplay video of that, which will pop up in the corner and it'll be in the description below. But definitely is a game that I think a lot of you should check out because it is amazing. It is truly one of the amazing games of 2021. Very original. Well, and more of an homage to things that have come out, but as a whole, it is really good. I actually prefer that to another game that came out this year, being Blade Assault. That one could have been better. But anyways, Cyber Shadow, you should definitely pick it out. Number 13 is Guardians of the Galaxy. I actually bought this when I found it on sale on PlayStation Network, and I started playing it, and all the references, because I'm an 80s baby, so like it was just really such an enjoyable experience. And I know a lot of us were really concerned about the game and was it going to be any good, because let's be honest, Square Enix, they kind of dropped the ball with Avengers for a lot of people. When we first saw the initial trailers for Guardians of the Galaxy, we just thought it was going to be that we were going to get more of Avengers, and it really was not that at all. It went a completely different direction, and the team that was behind it, they just knocked it out of the park. It is graphically one of the most beautiful games of the year. It's plays so phenomenally well. The humor is so on point, and I absolutely love it. The multiple choice system, how your actions affect different things in the game, is definitely one of the most amazing games of the year, and one I think you should definitely check out. Coming in at number 12 is none other than Deathloop. Picked this up when I found it on sale during Black Friday weekend, and man, look, I'll be honest, I was salty that Bethesda didn't give me a review copy of this game, because like everyone around me got it, now I got left out, and I'm like, bro, what's going on? Anyway, but literally when I started playing this game, because I didn't watch any reviews, I didn't want to know nothing going into this, and as I started playing this game, I was like, yo, the humor's on point, the graphics are phenomenal, like the story is intriguing, the gameplay is really good. Basically it feels like, it's a shooter roguelike, because every time you die or you restart, you lose all your equipment and everything. So it's really a unique concept. And the team that worked on this, they've done such amazing work with the Dishonored series. This is Arcane Studios. But man, this game is so good. If you can get your hands on this, either physically on sale or digitally on sale, you need to play this. I don't care if you play it on PlayStation 5 or if you play it on PC. This is a game you want to be picking up, because man, it is such a ride. Coming in at number 11 is none other than Returnal. I do have to say that this game really blew me away. And all the reviewers at the time, like, there are a lot who were putting out videos and posts saying, like, over on Twitter, saying like they can't play it until they get cheat codes and stuff like that. And I'm like, man, the game is hard, but like, we used to play hard games back in the day, and basically when games are hard like this, they're teaching you how to play it. And I'm like, has that been lost on this modern era gamers, or the gamers from my generation, the generation prior to? Because it seems like, I don't know, like we kind of skipping leg day, and we're just not, we're not getting it in. We're being a little lazy about it. So anyways, the game, it's a roguelike shooter, which, similar to Deathloop, you die, start over in this continual loop, and or you're returning, and you get all your different abilities, power-ups. It's basically, my opinion of this game is this is Sony's take on Metroid. Let me break down why I say that. Because Metroid is basically a horror, like, psychological thriller type of game, even though a lot of gamers may not know that. But this is basically, you're on an alien world, you're all alone, everything's trying to kill you. It screams Metroid to me. It's a realistic take on Metroid, and I'm all for it. I absolutely love it. I think it's one of the most amazing games that's out there. And honestly, it's a shame that a lot of people, when they got it, they didn't really play too much of it because it was too hard. So, yeah, I had to put it in there because it was a game I was very, very addicted to. I'm still playing it now. I haven't beaten it, but I'm still playing it. I am actually literally still playing it. And I'm just enjoying my time with it. I think it's one of the best games to come out of PlayStation Studios for this year. So yeah, Marquee Studio, I think House Marquee, I think that was the name of it, or Marquee Studios or whatever. You guys did a phenomenal job with that. Coming in at number 10 is none other than Lost Judgment. It basically took everything we loved about the first Judgment, which is, effectively a sleuth style take on the Yakuza formula, and currently the only game that's maintained the core Yakuza gameplay. And it just cranked it up a notch. It got rid of a lot of things that we didn't like previously, and just made this an experience. Like, the story is so good, it's so gripping, and it doesn't take a long time to build up. Like, within the first half an hour, if not first 10 minutes, you're going to be gripped by the story. The gameplay is so good. It's it's basically a brawler, and just think of Streets of Rage in 3D moving around. There you go. That's the Yakuza formula. And RGG Studios, they did such a bang up job, and I'm very grateful to them for providing me a review copy of the game to play, because I'm a huge fan of the Yakuza franchise, and I really enjoyed what they did with this. I thought it was really, really on point, and one I think you're gonna enjoy it, especially with all the mini games. If you're a Sega fan, there's a lot in it for you. So definitely go check out Lost Judgment. Coming in at number 9 is none other than Resident Evil Village, also known as Resident Evil 8. Now, this is a game I kind of had a little bit of conflicting feelings on because I didn't Resident Evil 7 scared the shit out of me. I played the entire game start to finish through using VR. I want to give a shout out to the people that helped me get through that experience, being Gaming Master O, as well as One Eye and Spirit Shock. I don't know if you probably not going to watch this, but anyway, Gaming Master O and One Eye, thank you guys so much for the humor and just guiding me through the game. Resident Evil 7 was such an amazing game, like psychologically, gameplay, everything was good. And honestly, when you know what you're doing, the game gets a little bit short. But I was expecting with Resident Evil 8, they were going to continue down that more realistic, like gritty, the hills have eyes type of horror. Unfortunately, they didn't do that. They went more towards zany B-movie camp, and I don't know, like I don't entirely hate it, but at the same time, I'm not exactly in love with everything they did with it, because it's not really a scary game. I mean, there are some, jump scares or shock moments, but there's no actual horror except for one level, which is terrifying the first time you play through it. Repeated playthroughs, it's annoying because you can literally rush through it in about 10 to 15 minutes. But outside of that, there's no horror, so it loses a lot of what it had in 7. But it's a continuation of the story, and it does have an interesting plot twist. But gameplay wise, the gameplay is solid. The replayability is very, very solid. I do wish there was a capability of skipping that one horror level after after the initial shock factor. It's not scary anymore. So beyond that, gameplay is solid, graphics are phenomenal. The story, I would put 7, well over 8 for narrative. It's not, and also this is because Resident Evil 7 was deemed too terrifying, so Capcom decided to make this a little less terrifying. Which is also interesting is Lady Dimitrescu, how they did so much to hype her up in all the marketing materials, and then like after an hour she's never in the game anymore. That's another spoiler, but hey, that's what that is. Fun game, yeah, could be better, but it's fun. One of the top games of the year, but it's number 9. Number 8 is none other than Ys Monstrum Nox. I'm a huge Ys fan. As you guys know, I've started working on the Ys timeline, covering all of the games, and which is a very daunting task because apparently nobody has done this in video format, and I'm the first to do it. And I'm very excited to be the first to do that, even though it's been about a year since the last episode came out, almost 2 years. I'm working on it. But Ys Monstrum Nox is the latest game to come out in the Ys franchise and is the furthest in the timeline. And basically, it takes everything. If you enjoyed Ys 8, Lacrimosa of Dana, you're absolutely going to love Ys 9 because it's just more of that. Now, a lot of people complain because it's, a lot of grays, you're in a prison, basically you're in the prison city. And so, it's a little bit more muted and drab from a color perspective. But look, let's be honest. Ys 8 is set on a deserted island. Of course, it's going to have a lot of flora and fauna and a lot of vibrant, bright colors. You're not going to get that in a medieval castle-like city that's prison city. So just, I kind of didn't understand that argument. And I heard a lot of people regurgitating the same. This is a thing for me. I dislike when I hear a regurgitated opinion. I just start to tune out because it's like, okay, can you have an original fucking thought of your own? Everyone's saying the same thing, and a lot of people didn't even play that far into it to realize that you get what you're complaining about is not in there in the game. But you'd actually have to play beyond the first 2 hours to get that. Anyways, Great game, great gameplay. Love the characters, love the voice acting. It's just good. It's honestly one of the best Ys games out there. Is it the best Ys game? I still prefer Ys 7 as my favorite Ys game of all time. But this is, I guess, for the more modern era, if we're comparing 8 to 9, I'm gonna give it to 9. 9 was that damn good. Coming in at number 7 is none other than Guilty Gear Strive. I'm a huge fighting game fan. You guys know this. I play everything Street Fighter, KOF, Tekken, Mortal Kombat, Virtua Fighter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I will play it. And honestly, Guilty Gear Strive, as someone who's been playing Guilty Gear since the original release back in 1998, this one is a lot different. I mean, it's a slower, more methodical game. It's more, it's not as technical, although it is still technical. It's not as difficult to get into as the the Exarch games or the XX or XX or Accent Core or Accent Core Plus or Accent Core Plus Plus, or the original entry. You still got your Roman cancels and all that stuff, but it's more beginner friendly. And I've seen some minority of the FGC. I don't consider myself part of the FGC, even though I've been playing fighting games for 30 years. I've seen a lot of people complain about that. It's too easy. It's a brainless game. But then it doesn't make sense because it was the fighting game of the year. It's a game that people who've never touched Guilty Gear have jumped into. It's honestly the most successful Guilty Gear game to ever come out in its near 25-year lifespan. It's insane. Or actually, it is 25 years. It's absolutely insane how this game just literally blew up. The art style, the gameplay, the characters, the story, which is Arc System Works stories or anime fighter stories in general are just they're basically visual novels, so just keep that in mind. But you kind of need to know what happened before to know, going into this one. There's a lot. It's very meaty, but if you have no idea who's who, what's what, you might get lost. But gameplay wise, also the online has significantly improved. I remember during the beta, and when the game first came out, again, shout out to Arc System Works for providing me a review copy of that game. But when it first came out, from loading the game to starting it to actually getting to play, you had a 5-minute sync with the server, and it was ridiculous. That's gone now. So PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, and as well as the Xbox, it is seamless. So I absolutely love it. My fighting game of the year, although if King of Fighters 15 came out, that would have been my fighting game of the year. Nonetheless, Guilty Gear Strive is exceptional. Whether you're a professional player or you're a newbie just trying to learn, it's a lot of fun. Now with number 6, we have Kena Bridge of Spirits, which is a game from Ember Labs. Like, honestly, this game blew me away. I got this game admittedly later than other reviewers. I did get a review copy of it, but it came in much later. And I'm still, at the time of this video, I'm still working on my review of it. To have this title come out, it looks like you're playing a Pixar movie. It is absolutely gorgeous. Story is good. The environments are beautiful. Characters are beautiful. The gameplay is so great. Like, you've got your light and heavy attacks, your dodge, double jump. You've got, your over the shoulder, aiming. You've got control of your little minions called a rot. You've also got a block which also doubles as activating, spirit stones in the environment. I don't want to dive too much into the story because the story is really good, but it is absolutely a majestic title, and one, man, it was tough not giving this game of the year, but the game that is going to be my game of the year or my number one game of the year, it's going to be given that for a reason. But this was a very very strong game to come out. It's available on PlayStation 4, 5, as well as PC. Definitely go pick up Kena Bridge of Spirits. You won't be disappointed. Coming in at number 5 is none other than It Takes Two. I know that game won Game of the Year at the Game Awards. This is my games of 2015, my top 15. It is not my game of the year. Even though I enjoyed playing this with my wife, we had a lot of fun, capturing footage for it. I've also interviewed the main cast, so if you're interested in checking that out, link for that will be in one of these corners, as well as down in the description below. But man, this game is a lot of fun, easy to pick up and play, especially, if you've got, you're playing with kids, you're playing with your loved one, you're playing with friends. We don't really get co-op, couch co-op games anymore. And this right here, it was so much fun. I loved it, absolutely loved it. I mean, you can even play it by yourself to an extent, but it's definitely a game. If I was basing it off of just playing it with someone, if we were going for like multiplayer game of the year, that would be the game. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with it. My wife Leigh had a lot of fun playing it with me, and it's one that we keep coming back to over and over. But definitely, It Takes Two. It's solid number 5. I love that game. Coming in at number 4 is none other than Tales of Arise. For me, story, gameplay, graphics, loved it. It is a game that the characters grow in you, the dynamic of everything that's going on. There's your intrigue, your politics, there's the racism, and like how the characters deal with, the main character is very racist towards the secondary main character, as well as the secondary main character is racist towards the main character. There's a lot, it's a lot of introspection on how we, in our real world lives, like our views on different people, different ideologies, different religions, different people, like our own biases, and, casual racism as well. It touches on a lot of that. And it does so in the most tasteful way I've seen any video game do it. And there's no preaching needed, which is something I'm glad the Tales Studio has not gone on that, I'm just going to preach to you what you should be thinking rant, like so many gaming companies these days do. But definitely, I absolutely love this. It was so fun, so much replay value. Tales of Arise. If you haven't played it, make sure you go pick it up and play it today. Coming in at number 3 is none other than Metroid Dread. Now, this is a game. Look, if you were on the internet forums back in like 2004, 2003, then you will remember, Metroid Dread was a game that was supposed to come out and it never came out. Like that was the 2005 game we never got. But it's out. I absolutely love it. It's a return to form. It's basically, they took what they did with Metroid Samus Returns, or Return of Samus, however you want to say the name, interchangeable, and the 3DS game. They took that, made it 60 frames per second, not locked, but it's pretty consistent. Up the graphics, it's 900p, not perfectly 1080p docked, and it's 720p handheld. But they took it, they improved upon it, added so much to it, and honestly, I don't know if I like that or if I like like Super Metroid more. I don't know if I'm gonna pull for one or the other. I think they're both gonna just sit there as the goats of the Metroid franchise. But it was a great return to form. I know a lot of people kind of bashed it for being 2D, and they thought it was a spin-off title. Some say it's a budget title, some say it's overrated. That's your opinion. You can take it how you want. I thought it was great, personally. I really enjoyed it. I think you'll love it too. Coming in at number 2 is one of the last big Nintendo games for 2021. That is none other than Shin Megami Tensei 5. And honestly, I almost made this my number 1 game of the year, but the number 1 game edges that out substantially. And as an SMT fan, it was really great to see the series come back and be pushed to the mainstream. The marketing behind it was substantially good. The only thing I hated was how outlets YouTubers were covering the game, because every time you turn around, there's a comparison to Persona. Oh, it's Persona's edgier older brother. It's Persona this, it's Persona that. And I understand you need something as a point of reference, but when all you're doing is using Persona is like 95% of your talking point in a review, what am I learning? You know? But anyways, for those who haven't played it, tonally is very different from Persona. It's a very, very dark and bleak post-apocalyptic style of game, which the series has always been. And it doesn't have, you know, your friendships, relationships, all the bonding and stuff like that, the power of friendship. It's not in this game. It's a substantially different game that, you know, if you're familiar with like the Pokemon gotta catch 'em all type of, you know, style of game, well, Pokemon kind of, you know, took from SMT or Megami Tensei, to be honest, because that was the original game to come up with that formula back in the 80s. And so, yeah, great game, phenomenal story, phenomenal characters, multiple endings, multiple alignments, because you can either be good or neutral, lawful / good, chaotic / evil. It's up to you what path you want to take. Who do you want to side with? SMT5 is a great game. If you haven't played it, make sure you go pick it up. Halo and Ratchet and Clank are my games of the year. Halo Infinite and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart are the, you know, two of the major titles, from one from Xbox, one from PlayStation, and honestly they are sharing the #1 spot, because I know it's kind of controversial to do that, but they're that good. I mean, with Halo, they completely redid the formula for the Halo franchise, giving you a truly open world and the single player experience for you to go and just explore and do what you want to do. You got the grappling hook, you've got so many different things that just really open it to being one of the best Halos I played since Halo 3 back in 07. And then you've got the multiplayer aspect of it, which really brought the fun back to multiplayer shooters. This is what I grew up on. Like, this is my teenage years, was, you know, playing Halo, the original Halo on LAN, and then getting Xbox Live and playing Halo 2, and then Halo 3, and then all the Halos from there. That's, well, let's be honest, Halo 5 was kind of trash. 4 was kind of trash too. But, you know what I mean. It was a fun experience, you know, having the multiplayer for Halo Infinite be so diverse and bringing back a lot of the things that we haven't experienced in so many years. I absolutely love diving into Halo Infinite. And the other game being Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, really, it felt like you were playing a movie. Like, the game's graphics were insane. And if you're able to look at this game at 4K with HDR toned on, man, this game is just mind-blowing. It showcases, especially with the, you know, the gimmick of the Rift, you know, Rift jumping, it showcases the power of the SSD of the PlayStation 5, and it's absolutely such an amazing game. It's an open world game with 2 playable characters that virtually play the same in many aspects, but man, this game is so good. It is so good. It's so much fun. Voice acting, the story, oh my god, the graphics are the most beautiful thing that's out there right now. Like, nothing's touching it. Even Halo Infinite doesn't touch it. Actually, a better comparison, if I'm going to compare it to anything, I probably should compare it to Kena Bridge of Spirits. And Kena Bridge of Spirits looks like a Disney, well, it looks like a Pixar movie. Whereas, you know, Ratchet and Clank looks like you're playing, it feels like you're playing a Disney Pixar movie. It is absolutely phenomenal. It is honestly up there. Like I said, Halo Infinite and this, I could not put one over the other. Those are the #1 game in this top 15. To technically should be top 16, but it's top 15 games of 2021. So what do you think? What do you think of this list of my top 15 games of 2021? Did you agree with my picks? Did you agree with the order? Did you disagree? What are your top games, or top 15 or top 10 or top 5 or top 3? Whatever your thoughts are, let's get the conversation going in the comment section below. And if you want to take the conversation further, we've got Guilded as well as Discord with links for those in the description down below. And if you really enjoyed this video, make sure you sub, ding the notification bell, and share it with someone you think would enjoy. Also, make sure you like the video because, engagement, YouTube likes that. And it lets me know that you guys enjoyed this video. If you want to support the work that we do here, I am an independent content creator. We've got channel memberships as well as Patreon, which gives you early and exclusive access to various content I work on. I do a variety of content. I do video game and tech reviews. I do reactions to games, anime, and more. And I also have a podcast called the Kasanova Podcast, which is the #1 podcast in Hawaii, where I interview people in the gaming and tech industry, some of your favorite voice actors, celebrities, and so much more. So if you really want to support what we do here, make sure you become a channel membership, patron, coffee subscriber, or subscribe star. Hey, all those options are there. And we also got Teespring and TeePublic as well. If you want to get some various swag that we have. All that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Happy New Year. Let's ring in 2022 with it being an insane year for gaming. This is the year I really feel like the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series S and X are going to really shine. I'm going to see a lot of that coming out. And I'm going to be covering the bulk of everything that's coming out. So that being said, thank you so much. Mahalo for watching this video. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Mahalo for making it to the end of the video. And if you found anything of importance or substance that you gained from watching this, make sure you leave a comment down in the comment section below. If you haven't already, make sure you sub to the channel and ding the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all the content that you get from my channel, from podcasts, streams, reviews, impressions, reactions, and so much more. If you want to support what we do have channel memberships, we've got Patreon, we've got Subscribe Star, as well as coffee, which I would love to be drinking some coffee right now, which I am. That's some good coffee. But anyway, we got all of that, and we also have merch on Teespring and TeePublic, so make sure you go check that out. And all that being said, I just hope to see you in the next video that I put out. So hey, see you around.